Tribal dancing, spirit prancing. Is it artifice to want to talk a little while you hug your legs and nestle your head between your knees? You see, I've seen you in the dance and know your rhythms, find delight in your careless relaxation of face and form. Vision, splendors. Is it your representation that I best remember, love, or the bubbling personality that fills beneath your hat to dark joy? Memory burgeons as I self-trance a lonely evening without and without. Only Jesu to keep me company, only me to do his bidding. In the turmoil of a schizophrenic mind, drug reduced to bleeding. Minimal incision. I only curl my lip when making love or sneering, blind both times to my own emotion, untutored in what constitutes feeling. Us in the garden. Tomorrow night is full moon and I'll dance with it for you, shaman prancing in the beauty breath of night and purple darkness. For my sins of taking less tobacco, snuffed a pinch of sense. When I rejoin the world, it has still been going on, and my life with it reduced to a file full of harbours, aching pounds, shillings and pence, to vials of lusty seed and crass reasoning crashed. If you only had a moment, would you spend it with me? Jimtom Say.
Really, I came to poetry to find out what it was I was feeling and to put it down so I could then say, yes, that's what I feel, and it's, catharsis to get it out. The important thing is to be honest with yourself, to reflect how you feel, to share that with other people so that they can come on board with what their understanding is. It's just, bringing people together. That's what language does. It's just a perspective, how I see the world, how I reflect for other people, that they can contact images, ideas, themes and think, that rings a bell. I mean, I would hope, really, I've said in the past, like when I'm doing one of my longer crazy pieces of poetry, then an audience, I would hope, will be able to access some bits that would then set off images and connections for themselves, so that they may not be aware of the next little bit because they're having their own little moment, and then they'll come back to it, and like the rhythms and meter and all that hopefully will carry them something as well, so that it's an experiential kind of kaleidoscope, and it makes connections for those people.
A gem of an idea. Shine Jarmun on the brave and free. A corsair past the Occidental. I saves up some honey, shins up a tree from the Liberty Bee, but the bear comes after. What way can we live in the forest amongst all of the tallest of creation without we fear to become victim to their carnivore way? Or just plain temper, disturbance, an owl with a sore head? Does Jarmun tell me I pray, give thanks to many, witness mixed gifts, the sustenance of a natural mystic year. Planet of persuasion, equation, still the blessings of an angel say message, no message. Keep on keeping on with those who would say are equal, just as holy. In the darkness there is light, where the holiest is in shadow, humble, bearing the cross of the long dark night of the soul. The fruit of the lips says you'd need a builder's acro to sustain it. So no more of houses. Plough says make them equal. No trees left. So in the vacant places we will build with seed aplenty, plant the forests, build the world anew. Jimtom Say.
Jimtom's poetry comes from a very sincere place. It's not there for a quick laugh or a quick reaction. I think a lot of it is on the unconscious level and meets you on an unconscious level. I always think he's a bit like, he's got bits of John Clare, a bit of the sadness about the loss of almost like an Eden, almost like a magical place that maybe is in all our hearts and whatever, or we'd like it to be sometime in the distant past or whatever. A mixture of that sort of loss, sense of loss that you get in John Clare, and people like Gerard Manley Hopkins, sort of, I think, Victorian, but where you get this intensity of the use of language, and it's chopped and so beautifully done.
Keep to Mother Earth, say. Loving you is breathing. You're everything I wanted, just that feeling, no lonesome moors. The spirit is arrival and fire, all emancipate, struggle still. Caravans without axles, vendor fires that call in moment from the MOD. Where hast thou been since I saw thee? Blockading MOD. Excuse me, Mr. Person, I am the official law. Would he mind not having his party here? Or at least, if I say nothing, for me and my compatriots, please party some more. So says the sunshine, the traffic full flow, the parties of policey or what man go on and on and on. Yes, we can tell it. Thundering above and all in cozy crumple zones, airbagged from the world. Safe, but in frenzy with the sound of it shut off. 3 million different frequencies all tuned to fool's gold, increasing the damage as the tunes spiral on into holdouts, rechargement, difference, scope, attunement to spark, then hold the rage, commune in peaceful warrior moments, more dispassionate disarmament, joying joining, travel on. Goodbye, sweet juggernaut, I, passing emblem, I, down the plug hole with you. Go on, say, Jimtom, I and I, Cymraeg.
The first time I think I saw Jimtom, he was at one of those festivals, and we were all sat around in a big circle, and this guy in a kilt started doing some, I don't know if it was a poem or a song, but it went on for a long time. And I thought, oh, he's interesting. But then later on, I was trying to think about this, but I can't remember exactly how we first did a gig. But we did a gig at the Labour Club. I don't know, I just thought there was something in it. I really liked it. And then I had the studio, so I said, why don't you come round and I'll record you. Because when I heard him recorded properly, and you could tell what the words were, I thought, wow, this is brilliant, you know, there's really something in it.
Down in the dungeons, dark and deep, the Goths, pumps, rusters, rude boys creep, and with all the interchange of permeating layers, they dabble.
But even sleeping on the street, they dabble in social lubrication, mind expansion, something to ease the ease of no redemption in the now. An industry realm of bed-sits land or shared apartments, crusty brand. Our pixies, wood elves, nymphets bide and work to turn the coming tide of profit, loss, morass and dross, grey stack condos replete with moss. The destruction of our green swept land, all post-redemptive ozone band, where urban gorillas tour the street in advance of the market shopping fleet with sun-packed raisins, out of date, but within the price of the welfare state. To support our brethren in a daily chore, £1 for a clip spent at foreign shore, warding off the general dread of export invasion from the red. Our pixies lack Kalashnikovs, not daily bread. Jimtom Say.
Thank you, thank you.
Jimtom was sitting doing his stuff down at the Labour Club one night, and I was watching him and thinking, that's really good stuff, that's really good stuff. Some very strange rhythms, I was thinking, but that bloke on the guitar, he's bloody good. That John, he's very good. I wish he'd play a bit more, I was sort of saying to myself. And then I said, in my own little head, they need a bass player. They really need a bass player. I'll get in there and I'll funk it up a bit, and that'll be the thing to do. That I was glad that night that down at the Labour Club that I sat and I listened. I was like, yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to do. Get up there and play with Jimtom. That'd be great. That'd be great. And it has been. It has been.
Once was a man who walked on the earth. He wore raggedy clothes which he felt that it made. He followed the people, he thought he could see them, but none of them knew of the plans that he'd made. Through the pain of his growing
make your own light in a halo, waxing and waning the full fruit in the rind, skipping over the moonbeams, laughter in your eyes, in the night of peace, hush, grass beneath your eyes. Hey, Jamun, I know you're shining, the hope in your heart, feeling free to be kind. Dance in the light, let your could be the fire glow, the warmth of your spirit, inspiration of mind. Skipping over the moonbeams, laughter in your eyes. In the night of peace, hush, grass beneath your eyes.
Really, it is only polished improvisation at any stage. We have no fixed tunes written down, music. It will be a certain way, and there'll be a simple version, and there'll be a slightly more, fiddly version, and whichever seems appropriate at the time. And they are variations on a theme, so that it is organic in that stage. Sensibity is like a millipede that I once saw that is in fact a sensei, being the Japanese word for teacher, but also sinsemiya being sensei, which is all a lot of confusing conglomerations.
Sensibede, he of gentle foot. And the only travelling talk of ale is amongst the jouster in the surreal reel. For travel it is an active state, and once formed it sterile comes debate and touching tangents, cool and pale. Safe return to dangered talk of ale. Down in the dungeons, dark and deep, the Goths, punks, rascals, rude boys creep, and with all the interchange of permeating layers, they dabble. Hey, Jim, sleeping on the streets. They dabble in social lubrication, mind expansion, something to ease the ease of no redemption in the now. An industy realm of bedsits land, or shared apartments, crusty brand. Our pixies, wood elves, nymphets bide and work to turn the coming tide of profit, loss, morass and dross, grey stacked condos replete with moss. The destruction of our green swept land, or post-redemptive ozone band, where urban guerrillas tour the streets in advance of the market shopping fleets with sun-packed raisins out of date, but within the price of the welfare state. To support our brethren in the daily chore, £1 for a clip spent at foreign shore, warding off the general dread of export invasion from the red. Our pixies lack Kalashnikovs, daily kin bread. Jimtom Say.
Performance poetry works in the same way as theatre, that it's only that event, that interdependence between audience and performer, that creates the moment, the frisson, like the interest. And so sometimes it may be that, you know, we've only tried something out a couple of times, it would be fairly rough and ready, but it might work absolutely for that moment. And you know, there's a kind of a lift from it. You know, we've raised the Arwen, maybe, you know, the spirit of flow, the sense of inspiration and creativity, and that is a part of it. I think that's part of the essence of good performance poetry, and performance poetry with music and other things as well, is that living in the moment.
Clost forest, los place in a sea of green tents. Disco inferno, smoke breezes into fire, becoming one more heli glow, more comforts land. You break my cover, prayer, fiend, friend. Somehow my daisy's chainsaw crown, a thorn's glove in a gauntlet, in a gash. Wood, rough cut, my heyday head on a stick, some away and play a pixie fool, meep, schmoogle. I may have been already, slough, buff, I'd lose a limb, akimbo, moglow, and still rise smiling from the enchanted pool of light and shade. Moss whispers over rock, so forest absorb my bright and spirits. Let me encant with leaf and shadow for all of love's young blossom bloom in this a musky glade. In nature homely, rencontre depth of moor squats we all wade. Hey, chase the flipper, yeah, Horsafat web, foot by arachnid ancestor all, and return to our family forest floor, brick and bracken wood and woad, hot shot of sunshine, dappling dowsers, bovine, horn-crested ruminant, roots of a fungal growth. My celli, feet spread, turf splodge, pat, magic, so stay, seas, say, that's way we grow, that's way we plied, blithe, blood and Keltos, grail, and I, so some to ruffle their hest best zen, and art into thy veil bore, roots, snodder, snog, frig, become Ravenna, Freya, cat, swallow, and elderbush polarities, guarantees. You've all got nosebleeds in your hanky sets, inequalities. The nurturing nettle blanches, luminescent cows rock against rich, and your boots to fish enough trouble so soon begin again. Closing sail molds with ale in a dale for all time, for all kinsmen through you, moon's daughters. How can we cry higher than mare tranquillatus as grist syllabilates we list? We await the Annuncio rise, rejoin beyond fabrication, shine, seal and still seabirds predict why Facitas absorb with me, absorb this heaven in a weather front, back, sideways, rain, mates we earthwards, yet dissolved to fall far off as just those drop stickers, bud, brevity, glue in the sap stalks coalesce. other parts of the planet. Moist energy, life in the cellular musci, it breeds its own respect, turn and return as a native, not to cut the straw, to clatter, kiss, but just exist and cry in the joy of being, not who accomplish fall, disregarded step, silencing steps, behest to use all resource whilst the fresh air fades away. 1 month a moon dance, 1 week preparing breeks, knockwheed in a sunshine breeze. Beneath the belt is thine blood pumping, rise, fall, vibrate to drench, quench, hum, generate particule, attenuation, love, do lifetimes, laughing a bit begins, nervous hiss, calm, birth to death, crash, thunder, celebrate thy dying hunger in a smile, cerebral elation and burial of autumn's parchment leaves, gold triggers, nothing more, all else deceives, mere mortal and pan-equal moon thing, greet, release, co-breather, she, bean, meteorites, bite, soothe, beat around the dust, it hits who in the world, for well this thy body brother breathes, ease, cell interconstruct, has thy cuspal boundaries burnt, the defences mentis, micta 2 toward highlights without, by your highlights within, I re-internally, thy re-eternal we, I web, nutshell, weave, sends an Adonna in a motion, days, she mountain, ye, so, Zion, in the rain, Jimtom Say. Cool. Waiting for the worms. Once upon a Pimplov. Once upon a time, there was a Supreme Soviet, which is like a club that you can join, and after a while, you get to run a country. Anyway, Pimplov was a member. He'd joined to improve his social skills, his count up in the standing, but that only led to the blood and the thrill. The killing was never demanding. He'd found himself a party job, a junior exterminator who toured the town just keeping down the rodent population. Pounce and kill with a twist that was still an ongoing education. With the warm fur and filth, the pressure and snap, the solution to the equation. Then Pimplov sees his first human body. One day on his way to working, missed by the clearing teams. A vagrant, lost one, vermin. Pickaxe to the head and veil of red, but blotted by the blackness of the pain. That was how he'd imagined it. A clean blow, the flattened skull, the matted blood and hair, but why no broken arms and legs, and why no facial